Welcome back. In this video, we shall see how to change states in React using events and the set state feature. So let's say we want to build a simple button that increases a number when it's clicked on an app. Something similar to buttons on shopping apps where you click a plus sign to set the number of items you want to purchase. Let's say we want to do that. The first thing we do is to have our import statement and have our class block. So let's say root comp, get rid of this state line here, like so. Now the next thing to do is to pass in a constructor method that's going to have a super function in it, and also we are going to define our states by saying this.state is equal to number set to 0. Now in our render method, we are going to have something like this, a h3 tag here that's going to display our number that's in our state there, this.state.number. Beneath that, we're going to have a button tag that's going to say punch to increase. Let's save that. Now let's head back to our browser to see what we have. So we have a button here that says punch to increase, and we have our number here set to 0. So what we want here is a situation where if I click on this button, 0 will become 1. If I click on it again, it becomes 2. So that's what we are going to achieve using events in React. So let's go back to our VS Code. We'll come here, and the event listener we want to add is the onClick event listener. And in our onClick event listener, we are going to pass in a method known as click handler. Now that means outside our render method and outside our constructor method, we are going to define another method known as click handler. This method is going to be in charge of handling our click events on this button. So let's say click handler, just like that, and let's save that for now. Before we start writing code in our new method, I want to introduce a concept known as binding in React. This is simply us binding our new method to our constructor method, because we will be using the setState function in our new method, which is click handler, to change the state, or let's say change the value of the object we set in our constructor method, which is number set to 0. So to bind our new method to our constructor, we'll come here outside this object here, but not outside the constructor method. We'll come here and we'll say this dot click handler is equal to this dot click handler dot bind, and we'll pass in this right there. Now just to mention, anytime you set a new method that will use the setState function, ensure you bind it to the constructor method, just like this. So let's write some React for our click handler method. Let's come here and let's say this.setState, and setState is a function, so it's going to have the brackets there. Let's say previous state, and let's set this as an arrow function to an object, and inside the arrow function let's return an object of number set to previous state dot number plus 1. Now let's save that. What's happening here is this: we are using the setState method to access our previous state. Our previous state currently is number set to 0. So inside our previous state function, we are returning a new object, which is what we have here, the previous state of our number plus 1. So now the value of number will be the previous state of this number plus 1. So 0 plus 1 is 1. So that's just the logic behind this method here. And this is all this method is going to be doing. It's going to update this state right here. And this method is fired when you click on this button. When you click on this button, this method is fired. And when this method is fired, it accesses the previous state of the object we have here and add 1 to it. Just simple as that. There is one error in this file. If you can spot it out, fine. The error is that we need to have a this keyword right there, because click handler is a different method and we are in another method known as the render method, and calling this method in the render method we have to use the this keyword. Now let's save this, go back to our browser to see what we have. You can see we have punch to increase. Now let's punch this. You can see it's 1. Punch it, it's 2. So as you keep punching, it keeps increasing. So it means our event handler is working perfectly. For now, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share.